Hi everyone, welcome back to Scrapbooks Made Easy with Beth. Today I wanted to talk to you about journal boxes. I think journaling is super important in our scrapbooks. I think it needs to be in our own handwriting, and I like to tell stories, not just the who, what, where, when, and why. If I went to the beach, I would write, it was a bright sunny day, the water was glistening, it was 82 degrees out. Just kind of go through all the feelings of the day, not just we went to Fort Myers Beach. To me, that's obvious. So I try to get into more of how everybody felt. What did you guys do? So I get asked a lot why we don't have journal boxes to match all of our cardstock. It would be really, really hard to keep up with that as much as our cardstock changes. So I'm going to show you how you can take cardstock that you have, whether it's a current cardstock or a previous one, and make your own journal boxes. I'm also going to use the cloud. If you like the cloud punch, it's hot right now, which means it's going to sell out soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to use the Q the Blue. So I really like that paper pack. And you're going to start out with a piece of paper that's 6 by 6. So this is also a great way to use scraps. So I've got 6 there. Yeah, so I can use this scrap, which is awesome. So 6 inches. And there's my 6 by 6. And now when you're using the punch here, normally you're using these black lines to make this journal box. You want to start with your silver line. So you're going to start there, and then you're going to move this over until the blue is covered up. So there our blue is covered up. And now we're going to take the end of this and put it on that same silver line. You'll end up with a little bit of a square left on each corner that you can just pull off or cut off. Or if you cut perfectly, it'll fall off, like that one just did. And you're just going to turn it around until you've done all 4 sides. So now I have this beautiful piece right there. Let me get rid of all the scraps. So I have that beautiful piece, and now I can take some white lined paper and I cut that to be however big I want it to be. So if that's 6 by 6, I can kind of measure here. This is 3 by 3. So because I'm going to do a couple of those, I'm just going to make this all the way down. So 3 by 3. You're going to make this however big you want it. Sometimes I like to journal, and then you would just put that right in the middle, and you have your own little journal box. Now, if you really wanted to get fancy, you could take the matching embellishments, and if I was going to write about one of my grandsons, I could put this up there, so handsome, and write a cute little story about one of my grandsons. Super easy. Again, you can make this bigger or not. And then the other cute one is I'm using the same thing. Again, great way to use up a scrap piece of paper. So that is 4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. And this is more if you wanted to write a much longer story. So now I'm going to use the same thing here, only I am going to use the black because I want it to go across the top. So I'm using the black line there. And now that goes across the top. So now all I have to do is cut this. I needed it a little bit wider, but that's okay. So now I can cut this maybe off right there. Again, just make it for however long your story is. Put that on my piece, and then I'm going to trim that so it looks nice. And again, I have the option of adding some embellishments to it. So I can take that piece there. I could add something really big in the corner. Remember this, and maybe that goes at the bottom this time. A glorious day. You could add a couple. If you like these squares and you have enough room at the bottom, You could make yourself a little pattern at the bottom of the page. Find one that is a good contrast. So you could do something like that at the bottom. You can even overhang it. So that's another cute journal box. And then another thing I like to do with my journal boxes is use the border maker system. It's one of my favorite things. So you could take this, I'll use this as my example. You could use that, and let's cut, this is the new citrus slice. And I want a different piece of paper for that. So I'm going to use this. And you don't have to cut all the way down. So I'm just going to cut a few. And again, depending on how big you want your journal box to be, I could cut that to go across the top and have that going across the top, or cut that off. I'm going to show you another fun thing. This could be your journal box right there, and then use your paper to go across, cut it accordingly. So the other fun thing, that one is not a chain, which means you do have to cut the paper off. I'm going to cut this one that is a chain. So we're going to turn this one over to the wispy chain. It's fairly new, really cute too. And that might be all I need. So then I would take my scissors and cut it. So this is a chain, so if you went all the way, it would cut that totally out for you. And then on top of your box, you would just put that. You could even have a fun bottom to it. Cut that to size. And you have another really cute journal box. So it's a great way to use up your scraps, and it's a great way to journal on your pages. So I would love to see some journaling in your albums. And this one's 4 by 4, so you can cut that, or 2 by 2. You can cut that either way. But just some really simple, easy way for you to make your own journal boxes. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you journal a lot in your albums. Bye, everyone.